Hey there, I'm Kristen. Nice to see you. I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to be talking about why I left my sorority. And before I get into the video and into the things that I want to talk about, I do just want to remind you that this is my story and my truth. Everybody's stories will be different. And overall, I still have an extremely positive opinion of sororities. I still highly recommend going through recruitment, joining a sorority, being in a sorority, staying in a sorority. If that's your story, ultimately for me in the end, it didn't work out and I did decide to leave. And I will talk about why in this video. But I just wanted to begin by saying that I still think sororities are an incredible thing. They're an incredible community full of strong, incredible, amazing women, and it is still something I think is a great experience if that's what works out for you, and if that is part of your story, as it was part of my story for 2 years up until now. I did have an awesome 2 years as a member of my sorority, but like I said, it didn't work out in the end, so I wanted to make this video to talk about why, and I hope that if you're watching this, you have not gone through what I've gone through, and you won't go through what I've gone through. But if you are, I just want this to be some reminder and some inspiration that if you are going through something like what I'm going to talk about, that it's okay and you don't have to stay in whatever negative situation you may be in, even if it means going against the crowd and removing yourself from a negative situation. The main message, along with the fact that this is my story and everybody's story will be different and I can only speak from my own personal experience, is that if you are in any situation, be it your job, a relationship, your major in college, your sorority membership, if you are in anything where you are so far past that point of being normal and happy and healthy, you do not have to stay. And if you are in one of those situations, I hope that you can be bold and brave enough to stand up for yourself, because nobody else is going to. Give yourself the freedom to do what's right for you. Ultimately, that's what I had to do. So I hope that if you take nothing else away, just know that that is all I'm trying to say from this. Last semester, so it's fall semester now when I'm filming this, and the past spring semester of college was the hardest semester yet for me. I've always been very into my studies. School has always been number one for me, but this past semester was extremely difficult for me. And I had a lot of personal things going on that I'm not going to get into, but the main idea is that my stress, my personal level of stress, was so far beyond healthy and so beyond any level of normal positive stress that something had to change. And I had to make many changes in my life, and ultimately choosing to leave my sorority this summer was one of them. There are basically two types of stress. There's positive stress, also called eustress, and negative stress or distress. Positive stress, normal stress, is a good thing. It keeps us motivated, working efficiently, and working towards our goal. Normal stress could come from things like starting at a new job, starting at a new school, joining a sorority even, having a big exam coming up. Those are all normal occurrences in life that should elicit a normal stress response. And that kind of stress is normal and positive because it is motivating you and keeping you going and keeping you working your best. Distress or negative stress is not good and starts to work against us. So that same fear response and that stress response starts to work against us. So basically in distress, your body is sending out the fight or flight response. And this is our body's response to things that we think are true danger, things that are seriously stressful and things that our body interprets as dangerous and fearful and things we need to either fight or flight from. So basically what happened in this past semester is that I was so stressed out all the time that this fight or flight response became almost immediate to any level of stress that I was going through, be it normal or abnormal, and kind of that negative stress. So this became extremely unhealthy, and it is not healthy if it's something that you're going through or something that you've gone through before to kind of have this automatic fight or flight response all the time. It's very hard physically on your body, and it kind of becomes an abnormal response to stress for things that should just be a normal level of stress, like I talked about, like studying for a big exam or preparing for the next week coming up or something like that. There is a huge difference between a normal level of stress and a negative level of stress, and I was many months into a negative level of stress, and ultimately that is why I had to make some changes in my life, and leaving my sorority was one of them. So what I'm trying to say by all of this is that you do not have to stay in that unhealthy level of distress and negative stress. It is not healthy, it is not sustainable. I hope you can be bold enough and brave enough to take the steps and make the changes that you need to get yourself out of that negative pattern and unhealthy pattern. And there are lots of things you can do. Sometimes you just have to do what's best for you. A lot of the time As a student and as a hard worker and as an employee, as a daughter, as a friend, there are going to be times you have to do things for others. Maybe it's comforting your friend when they need help, or helping somebody study for a test that you did well on, something like that. But sometimes there are situations when you just have to do what's best for you and you have to be your top priority. And again, that is something I had to do in the past couple months. And I am somebody that always has a to-do list and always likes to be busy and efficient in getting things done. But I had to learn to pencil in some freedom and some free time and some me time too, just to give yourself the ability to do what is best for you. Another thing that I wanted to talk about in talking about why I had to leave my sorority is that I am an all or nothing person. I am not the type to do things halfway or only give part of my best or part of my best effort. And I couldn't keep doing things only part of the way. I am all or nothing, and I want to give my best to everything, and I was not in a place where I could continue to do that. Finally, I just wanted to say that your identity, my identity, anybody's identity is not defined by whether or not you are in a sorority, fraternity, whether you're a member of this club or that club, whether you're this major, that major, whether you graduated or not. Your identity is not solely defined by these things. The fear of what other people will think of you if you change these things, leave these things in your life, should not be what keeps you where you are. To close this video, I just want to say again, I was in a place of very unhealthy stress, and actually lots of things had to change. I still recommend joining a sorority, being in a sorority, if that is something you want to do and what you feel is best for you right now. I had to do what was best for me this year, and that's all I'm trying to say with this. I wish you nothing but the best, and I hope you'll choose the same for yourself. Thank you for listening. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope you have a great day.